bounce, you broke ass.
What if every man in the world got 42K even? You want to know how I came up with that number? We took all the currency in the world and divided amongst every man in the world. It's about two, just to make the numbers number. Now, for this example, I'm only going to use men. Now, women, feel free to tune in, and just every time I say the word man, think about that as the word woman. Because right now I can only speak for a man because I am a man. And 90% of my viewers are men. So well, I'm not going to say 90. I'll say about 50%. It's about 50-50. But
come on now, dog.
What if every man in the world got 42K even? All right, y'all. So let's get into some wild, wild math today. Imagine this. Every man on earth woke up with 42K in his account. No questions asked. The stimmy of all stimmies. The ultimate reset button.
Ooh, wee.
Now, let's keep it a buck. Half the dudes out there be broke again before the week over.
And we both hit each other like, well, he's not lying.
What if every man in the world got 42K even? What if every man in the world got 42K even? You want to know how I came up with that number? We took all the currency in the world and divided amongst every man in the world. It's about two. What if every man in the world got 42K even? You want to know how I came up with that number? Put like 5K to 7K in the stash. Just put it in your savings, in the stash, in the cut, whatever you want to call it. That's your emergency fund. Car breakdown, rent due, somebody in the family got to go to the ER. Boom, you covered. What if every man in the world got 42K even? You want to know how I came up with that number? We took all the currency in the world and divided amongst every man in the world. It's about 2 billion men in the world, about $80 trillion of live currency in the world. That means every man would get about 42,000 even, just to make the numbers. So let's get that covered. We're not gonna play hero. We're not gonna think we could play God and live forever. So boom. So we got insurance out the way. So you got your stash and you got your insurance. Boom, bases covered. Now it's time to grow the bag. So let's say you got about 30K left to play with. You just spent about 12 during insurance and the stash. So now you're left with about 30K. So let's break that down. 40% of that got to go into something like an index fund. Think of it as like planting trees that grow slowly over time, but slow growth is better than no growth. Boom. 20%, you want to have real assets, real liquid. Maybe some land, maybe real estate fund, something you can actually touch. And it's going to also bring you money. Boom. 20%, you want to invest in yourself. When I say invest in yourself, I mean skills, certifications, courses, basically anything that can make you worth more per hour, or it can up your craft that you're already doing. Let's say you're doing music or something like that. But, well, right now we're trying to work off this 42K. They split all the money up, so we're not going to go off hopes and dreams. Let's invest in something that can make us some hard-earned cash, and we don't got to go based on the supply and demand of everybody else. So, boom, invest in yourself. That's 20%. 10%, Now this is where the hustle money come in. Start a little side business. I mean, you can start a pressure wash business and turn 3K into 30K easily if you move right. I know y'all done seen those relaxing videos on YouTube with the guy with the pressure washer cleaning up the yards or cleaning off the side of a house. Very, very relaxing. It also makes money. Boom. 10%, you want to keep some cash on the side for all right, boom. 10%. You down about 10% more left. With that final 10%, what you want to do is keep some cash on the side because sometimes opportunities may come up to invest, and broke people can't invest. Let's say if somebody came to you, because remember, all the men got 42K. Let's say somebody comes to you like, hey, I got an idea, boom, 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 boom. It already been popping off. Would you like to invest in my business? Boom. So now you got some money rolling in and you don't even have to do anything. You just basically gave this person like maybe you can almost call it a loan in return for 5 to 10% of their business shares. So now we got all those bases covered. But listen, now let me tell you what you don't do, because I gotta say this. Don't blow it. A lot of y'all gonna blow it, which is sad to say. That's why I said a lot of y'all to get that 42K and be broke in maybe 2 weeks. Because you're gonna be spending on Gucci belts and Hellcats. Yeah, you're gonna look fly, but that bank account gonna look dirty than a motherfucker. You definitely don't want to do that. But what you do want to do is put systems in place that automate your savings. It automates your investing. So that way you don't got to depend on willpower. Willpower is a liar. One night at the club and responsibility is out the window. So I know everybody think they got the willpower, and most of us do, but it's rough when you go from broke to now you just woke up with 42K in your account. Conclusion. Here's the truth. If every man really got 42K tomorrow, within a couple of years, most of the money will flow back to the people who own all the assets now. Because the people who are in position of power and are rich, they have the right tools and the knowledge and the know-how what to do with 42K. And they're going to bank on people like us, consumers, to continue being consumers. So they're going to take their 42K and they may spend it all on an investment that they know our dumbasses is going to come get them the money right back, right back, right back. 10 years, they back a billionaire. And we back struggling, living paycheck to paycheck again. What if every man in the world got 42K even? You want to know how I came up with that number? We took all the currency. Some of y'all niggas be broke. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it all the way a bean. But that's why I wanted to make this video. Because if you got a plan, you could turn 42K into 200K real quick, maybe more. No plan, you back to $42 by the time the summer hit. Let me put this in perspective as well. Like I said earlier, most of us don't make 42K a year. Most of us has never seen 42K all at once. So us average folks need to move a little bit different so that way we can generate the wealth that our family never seen. Do any of y'all got 100,000aires in your family? Any of y'all got any millionaires in your family? Shit, you even got 1,000aire in your family. Sad to say, most of us don't. Some of us would like to lie and say we do. But then when you start doing the math and you start looking like, damn, well, grandma, yeah, she retired. She living good. But what would she do on a rainy day? What if you know what I'm saying, Social Security, or let's say grandma had a retirement fund. That's going to dwindle down. Grandma has nothing. Yes, She may have had 50 bands, 75, maybe even 100 from retiring. Maybe she got a divorce, got some alimony from her husband too. But guess what? She's just floating above water. A few bad months and she's right back down here with us, sad to say. No disrespect to nobody, family or grandmother. But we got to call a spade so we can change this mindset. That's why I'm making this video. So the way the average people who may not ever have 42K at once can turn our money into a little nest egg, we have to cut out unnecessary spending. That's the only way to slice it. Easier said than done, but let me break this down so I can put it in perspective on what I mean. Okay, let's say weed, mild, cigarette, alcohol, you can be addicted to anything. I'm going to go with the basics. And women, let's add women to that list because some of us are addicted to tricking. It ain't tricking if you got it, but some of y'all niggas ain't got it. You got it to trick with, but that's it. So, and like a lot of y'all gonna say, who gonna do that? Who? I be needing my cigarette. I be needing my, see what you just did? The thought process. You don't need it, you want it. You don't need it, you want it. Let's speak. I'm speaking to the fellas. Ladies, y'all can chime in too in the comments. Let me know. I did a little math. The average weed smoker who's been smoking weed for years, at the very bare minimum, you're going to buy at least 3/8 a week. And where I'm from, an eighth is 25, maybe more. So I'm going to go on the low end just so we can keep the numbers numbering. So that's $75 a week, $300 a month. See where I'm going? $3,600 a year you're spending on weed. Now, please tell me in the comments, chat, what could you do with $3,600? Right now, boom, $3,600 in your hand. Get caught up on a few bills, put a down payment on a whip, buy some new furniture for your house. You see what I'm saying? We burning that though. We burning that. That's nothing we're going to see again. Now, let's take into account that if you drink as well. Now, every drinker is different. So I had to do do some soul searching to kind of average it out. So I came up with $1,800 a year. Because what I did was I took half of the $3,600. Because I mean, most smokers are gonna smoke more than their drink. You know what I'm saying? So $1,800 a year plus $3,600 a year. If my math is math, then that's $5,400 a year. $5,400 a year you're spending on weed and alcohol. Not to mention a couple times where you got a little extra money, you get a bigger bottle. Got a little extra money, you get a little extra loud, a little extra pack. So that 25 go to like 40 for that eighth. We don't do that all the time. But us smokers and drinkers, we know. Not to mention if you're smoking cigarettes or black and milds or you're vaping. So now you probably easily up to another what? Let's just say roughly $7,000 a year. $7K a year you are spending on things that you will never see again. You ain't gonna see a mild again, a cigarette, a weed. Once you drink it, it's gone. Once you consume it, it's gone. So think about that. In 10 years, that's $70,000 you have went down the drain. 70 ball down the drain. Come on, man. This is why the wealth gap is so fucked up. And I'm not just talking about black people. Trust me. I'm not just bashing us because I'm talking about anybody in the inner city, anybody middle class and lower. Because the upper class, they might already started out with something. That's what made the road a little bit easier. Not easy, a little bit easier. Having good guidance, having patience, understanding that $10 not going to go to 100 overnight. And also understanding that you have to cut out that 7K a year. I'll challenge y'all, man. 1 year. 1 year without none of that. And check in with me in the comments throughout the year. Because I'm going to be checking in. I'm starting my journey today. Because I sat down and crunched all those numbers and like, damn. I've been smoking and drinking for 20 years. Almost $250,000, 140,000 gone. I know it's an estimate. But come on now. It's somewhere around there. Am I correct? I know y'all probably, the math is starting to math, ain't it? $140,000 out in blue. Oh, nothing to show for it. But some dark ass lips and probably some crispy black ass lungs. You know what I'm saying? But God working with me. God's still working on me. What if every man in the world got 42K even? You want to know how I came up with that number? We took all the currency in the world and divided amongst every man in the world. It's about 2 billion men in the world, about $80 trillion of live currency in the world. That means every man would get about 42,000 even, just to make the numbers, number. Stick to the end of the video and y'all gonna see what I mean. Let's go. Now, for this example, I'm only gonna use, look, we gotta break the cycle, man. We have to break this vicious cycle. And the only way to do it is by consuming content like this. Share it. Share it with your boys. Make sure you give them context when you share it. Don't just hit share and send it to them. Give it context. Tell them to watch the whole video, bro. Let's go on this journey together. And I want to see all y'all in the comments. Put the 100 emoji in the comments if y'all about to start this journey. And nothing happen overnight. If you relapse, it's okay. But don't keep letting it happen because you're going to keep repeating the cycle. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to get old and not going to have nothing. You're going to start saying, I wish I would have done this earlier. I wish I would have done this sooner. You're going to get 50 and be like, damn, I'm doing it now. But what if I would have did it when I was 30? You'll be rich already, right? Me too. 20 years ago, if I wouldn't have smoked, that would have been 140K easily in my bank account. Easily. I know the way I smoke. And I know the way I used to drink. I did slow down the drinking. I have a sip here and there. I'm going to be honest. But that shit ends today, man. We can't keep doing this. That's why the wealth gap is so spread out. Probably only about 10% of the people in the world are rich. Maybe even less. So I mean, 90% of us are paycheck to paycheck. We coming above water just enough to breathe. I'm tired of that, man. Let's throw niggas a life raft. Let's throw our people a life raft. All people. Let's get them to float. Then eventually we can get a canoe. Then eventually we can get a boat. Then eventually a yacht. Then eventually we not even on the water no more. We up in the sky somewhere. But it all starts with the mindset. And it takes somebody to break this shit down the way I just did. So if you found anything, I don't care what it is. If you found anything helpful in this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to start this journey, the 1-year journey, I want to call it the 1-year 42K journey. A lot of people are going to be wondering, what the hell is he talking about? 1-year 42K? Because we started out talking about 42K. Then we went to what we spend in a year. Let's put that money back in our hand. Let's put that, come on now. Let's put that money back in our pocket for our families. All right. Remember, y'all, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And remember, money is like a test. Everybody wants a cheat sheet, but only a few actually study. This is our study lesson. Don't just get the bag, keep the bag. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Juice Taylor out.